Hey there. I hope you're all doing all right. I got something really fun in the other day and I thought I'd share it with you. This is a 1928 Boker catalog. Well, it's a reprint of a 1928 Boker catalog. I found this on eBay from a seller, MVP Knives, and it was all of $8.95 shipped. So $9 free shipping. It's a 96-page fully illustrated catalog of old Boker knives. I thought, how can you go wrong? Just interestingly, I thought I'd seen this catalog somewhere else before, and it occurred to me it was at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So I went to the Smoky Mountain Knife Works website, found this on their site. It was $9.95 plus whatever their shipping is, but it was out of stock. So I thought, well, the $8.95 shipped to me from this eBay seller. It's a good deal. So I got it the other day, and lo and behold, where do you think it came from? Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So while they show them being out of stock on their website, you can get them through their eBay seller, even cheaper, shipped to you free. If you're interested, if you're a Boker fan, I'll show you that link. This might be something really great to add to your library. So I'm going to do this video in two parts. We're going to look at the catalog, and then I'm going to do part two and just show you the Boker knives that I have. So this is an 8.5 by 11 reprint. First page is just a picture of Boker's U.S. facilities, I imagine, because if you look very carefully at that flag, it looks like the stars and stripes. Just talks a little bit about Boker Tree Brand. This is their take on their company in 1928. By the way, I think this reprint was done in the 80s and originally cost $10. Then there's a little a page here on Boker's pocket knives and how they're made. And there's some interesting things in here I just want to read to you really quickly. From the very beginning, H. Boker & Company, Inc. has used for its pocket blades Wardlow's bar cutlery steel, which is acknowledged the world over to be the best pocket knife steel obtainable. So if you ever wanted to know what steel was in old vintage Boker knives, there you go. Boker's blades are hand forged from the steel. Hand forging with a 2.5 pound hammer retains the life of the steel, whereas drop forging with a heavy hammer takes the life and springiness from the blade, and the blade is likely to remain set when put to a severe test. Every blade is hardened and ground separately. The blade is ground with a chisel bevel in the English manner. That is, the blade is ground thick from the back to the center and is tapered from the center to the edge. This gives the blade greater strength and greater stiffness to the edge. Very cool. The cutlery work is done by only by experts, and the details of the finishing are in the hands of the highest type of skilled workmen. Every knife is honed on an Arkansas stone and is actually sharp when the consumer gets it. Pretty neat. This page was obviously added to the original catalog because what it is, it's a collector price guide as of the 80s, 1980s, for these knives in mint condition. And it's really kind of laughable because you can really find a really rare elaborate knife in here and they're saying, you know, in mint condition, $125. Right. So just to kind of go through here, I've marked a couple of places. First half of the catalog is on the American Tree Brand knives, the ones made here in the U.S., and then the back half of the catalog is are the imported knives from Zolagen, from the Boker manufacturer in Zolagen. So basically, they just divide the knives into jackknives and pen knives, with a couple of other categories thrown in there, like scout knives and cattle knives. But one thing I want to mention is that the illustrations in this catalog are all of actual size. So they're the exact size of the knife. And I guess back in the day, like in 1928, maybe the photography or the printing wasn't good enough just to take actual pictures of the knives. So they've drawn these elaborate pictures of each and every knife. And I mean, if you look at them really carefully, really closely, they almost look like engravings or something. You know, that style of line drawing really had to be time consuming. They give the model number on the knives. They usually give the materials used, and that's about it. There's really not a name for each knife. You know, up here, every blade forged from crucible cutlery steel. just if you're a Boker fan, this is great. You've got a model number now for all these different knives. They used a lot of different scale materials, but predominantly their woods were ebony and rosewood. And then they used, stag, which was jigged bovine bone. And then where it says genuine stag, of course, it would be antler or horn. They used buffalo horn. They used what they call gunmetal. They used a lot of pearl. I'll show you all that as we go through it. Oftentimes there's two different knives. The same knife, but the different model numbers, because one might have a clipped blade, one might have a spear blade. Some of these knives are flat with beveled edges, which are kind of neat. It's kind of hard to tell what some of the cover materials are because there's these abbreviations. Some are like just SH, whatever that is, NH. But there's kind of a lot of pearl. Oh, I marked this page because these are the knives I would just love to find. I mean, where are these knives? Look at this big balloon end jack with that huge wide blade. Easy open jack with that huge wide blade and a cap. Isn't that great? All ebony. I would love to have that knife. Here's another great one over here. It's like a canoe, but the blades come out of the same end. Two different springs, I'm supposing. Slanted, lined, pinched bolsters. Just nice. The emblem right in the middle. What a gorgeous little knife. And I thought this was interesting. You've got a couple of gun stocks, but this is an easy open gun stock. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Sorry for all the coming close, going back. That's not making anybody seasick. What did I want to show here? Oh, the Scout knives. So these are early Scout knives with the old style can opener, tree brand etch on the blade. Really nice. They had a junior. I'm assuming, they don't give sizes in here, but I'm assuming 3 5/8 inches or 3 3/4, and then probably your 3 3/8. Slimmer junior Scout. But look at this one right here. This one, PYR, I think Pyramite, which is kind of interesting because Pyramite was a proprietary material for Remington. Maybe they shared that with other cutlers. But look at that shield. Oh my, isn't that great? I'm thinking that's probably red, white, and blue, like a little Captain American shield. How great is that? And then here's one in pearl. Where are these knives? Here's some cattle knives. So now we got another category, cattle knives. And a cattle knife is kind of an equal-ended stockman knife, three-bladed stockman. Here's one with a punch. Here's some more with slanted bolsters, slanted line, pinched bolsters, and that one has a punch. I would love to have that knife. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm probably skipping a lot of good stuff, but oh yeah, look at the size of this one. Let me get my hand in there. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but that's a whopper. There's a lady leg, and it says cap lifter. For the longest time I didn't know lady legs performed as cap lifters. So now I know why we have that cheesy knife pattern. And then this part of the catalog moves into the imported Tree Brand pocket knives. And I just want to show you a few things here real quickly. Again, these tend to become a little more elaborate and maybe a little wider variety of cover materials. You'll see a lot of genuine stag and pearl with the imported line. And then they have, a lot of them have the smaller end caps. What did I want to show here? Oh, some of them have a blade etch that reads "Celebrated Knife." So I was never aware of that. Usually it says Tree Brand. You know, this one's got a, these have a couple of guards. I don't think they're swing guards, they're just guards. And what else we got? Oh, over here I want to show you lockbacks. And a springer. Look at the size of that springer. No, that you would lift that up and press it down and it would switchblade the knife, and then, yeah, really cool. Old style switchblade, and real popular in Germany. Here are some physician's knives with the pill buster. And I think I just marked this just to show, you know, they had a ton in pearl. So here on this page you start with pearl, pearl. I mean, mother of pearl on these old knives is really valuable, and they made so many, but where are they all? A lot of genuine stag. And I'm telling you, nobody does stag better than Boker. One thing I didn't see in this catalog was their iconic camp knife, the one they say they've been producing since 1869 continuously. It's not in this catalog, but what is in the catalog is another six-bladed utility knife, and it's awesome. You know, it doesn't have that shape, you know, that like the camp knife does. It's equal all the way across, just wider, and it's ebony with bird's eye rivets. Where is that knife? Here's one with couple with the rings that you twist. Never had one of those in hand. I think they lock the blades. And then you just start to get into more elaborate knives. A lot of them have like long nail files. A lot of them have gunmetal covers. They don't really tell what metal that is, just gunmetal. Some of the pearl ones, I think I skipped over this, have pearl backs. And when they have a long nail file, they'll put pearl on the back of the long nail file. So when you close the long nail file, the back still looks like solid pearl. You know, no one today makes pocket knives as elaborate as this. I mean, GEC makes beautiful pocket knives, but they don't make pocket knives many times over like 3 blades. Nobody makes pocket knives, including Boker, this elaborately. Look at some of these knives. I mean, they were just really elaborate. Things like scissors out the back on a knife that size. How do you do that? Really cool. Okay, so that's just a look at the 1928 Boker catalog. I'm presuming for the U.S. market. Half of it's from Boker USA. Domestically produced Boker knives, U.S. domestically produced, and the other half is the imports from Zolligen, Germany. Really cool. Again, that's available on eBay, $8.95 shipped. So if you're a Boker fan, you can have a lot of fun with that. Okay, let's take a look at part 2, the Boker knives that I own.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show.
Okay, so here are the Boker knives that I own. I mean, I don't specifically collect Boker knives, but in going through my knives, I found that I own 10 of them. And so the first 2 that I'm going to show you are Boker USA knives made in the United States. Boker had a joint venture basically with Valley Forge Knives out of first Newark, New Jersey, and then Maplewood. And I've shown these knives before, so I won't spend much time on them. This one actually was a hardware branded knife, John Primble Belknap. But you can tell those that are made by Boker when they have a star on the back. And it's identical to another Scout knife I have from Boker. completely identical except for maybe the quality. This one has bone, this one has Delrin. I think Boker has some of the most convincing Delrin I've ever seen. When I bought that, I thought it was bone, but when I got it in hand, I can tell that it's Delrin, but it's a really good job of simulating bone. So the bone and just the level of finish and the high polish on this one is makes it a nicer knife than this one, but they're pretty much identical knives, and that's what I have to represent Boker USA made knives. Now, Boker hasn't had knives made in the USA, I think, since the early 80s. I'd have to check on that, maybe put it on the screen. But there still is a Boker USA, of course, but it's just their US marketing and importing arm. I've never really shown this knife before, so let me just show it real quickly. There's the Boker tree symbol, badge. Again, those are Delrin covers. Really well built knife. I guess these are stainless. Which is nice. Somebody scratched the small blade up pretty badly. There's the tree symbol and the model number 9361. And this one has the blade edge. Tree brand. So currently Boker has different levels. They have Boker Magnum, and those are their budget knives that are, I think, almost all made in China. Entry-level price budget knives. Then they have, and I don't have any of those, then they have Boker Plus, which is a step up. Those are also imported, mostly made in Asia, mostly China, some in Taiwan, I think. And that's where you can find two famous knife makers' designs that they have put into production. So I have 4 Boker Plus knives. And if you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you know that I really like the Boker Plus, what do they call them? Tech tools. And that's their modern take kind of on a Swiss Army knife. I think these are they are made in China, but they're super high quality with modern materials. And I love these knives. I've done a lot to modify them. I guess I've probably sold 25 or 30 with that have been modified with different scale materials and different parts. And found these the other day, some scales I had made out of kieranite that I never put on one. Isn't that pretty? I noticed now that Boker will sell the tech tools with some upgraded scales. They have zebra wood and they have ebony. These are custom Bubinga ones that I made, but and those are nice, but unfortunately they didn't put pocket clips on them because I guess Boker thought that was too hard. Just showing off. Okay, so also Boker Plus, these are a little higher price. Both of the next 2 pocket knives I'm going to show you are $100 or more, but I really like this knife. It's modern construction, blue anodized titanium liners, ebony. It's a front flipper, so you do that, and it's got the Damascus steel blade. So it's a really nice little liner lock with a little titanium pocket clip. Doesn't weigh but like 2 ounces. Great knife. Designed by a couple knife designers out of South Africa. Then I've got this Boker Plus. This is the mini Kwaiken. I like to say Quaken a lot, but I believe it's Kwaiken, like the River Kwai. This was designed by Lucas Burnley to look like a little Japanese dagger. So I've shown this knife before too a couple times. But I just really love the knife. S10, which at one time was considered really good steel. G10 liners. Covers. I guess just steel frame. Ball bearings. It's just great. I just really like how you don't see any blade when you close that up. Very elegant. So those are my Boker. No, those are my Boker Plus. I got 4 Boker Plus. And then the next thing the Boker makes, of course, are knives out of Solingen, Germany. They're a core line, handmade, what they call Boker manufacture. I have 2 of those. The iconic camp knife, or sports messer is what it's called in Europe. That's an example, of course, in Desert Ironwood. I've shown that several times. And then my Boker, what do they call this? Copper liner. They couldn't use copper lock because Case had that, but this is the copper liner in Stag. And like I said, nobody does Stag better than Boker. Well, look at that. This cool little knife. It's just a little copper head with a liner lock. You know, they've replaced the spring with just a cover here. They've put some washers in there, giving you a thumb stud and a liner lock. I really like that when you take a traditional, like slip joint pocket knife style, and you modify it to make it more like a modern one-hand opener locking knife. Really clever. Boker knives out of Solingen, the Boker manufacturer knives, are very expensive, and they're great knives. And I mean, just really nice knives, but they're very expensive. And to me, it seems like they are a little non-competitive here in the U.S. market. They're just pricing themselves out of the market a little bit, I think. Oh, I have one more. This was a gift from Dave Arnold, and this is from Solingen, Germany. It's just a simple 2-bladed jackknife with composite covers in stainless. Just a great knife. Great little work knife. All right, so what are we up to? 9. Got them all in frame there. And then finally, Boker also makes knives in Argentina with their Boker Arbolito brand. Arbolito means little tree in Spanish, so like their chestnut tree symbol. And they're mostly fixed blades. The one I own is this bushcraft knife. This is just my go camping, abuse it knife. I use this knife mostly just to monkey hammer it through firewood. I baton pieces of firewood really way too big than I should, but seems to be able to take it. Again, it's my car to handle. This is a steel that Boker uses a lot. It's the Bowler in, what is it? I can always forget, the N690. Bowler N690. So that they're using that more and more on some of their high-end knives as kind of their premium steel. And I can attest it takes punishment. It really does. I mean, I have punished that thing. This is a full tang knife. That's a big piece of Bowler N690 steel. No wonder that was a $100 knife. But the sheath was great. Sheath's really nice. All right. So that's a look at all 10 Boker knives I own from all parts of the world. Great company. I wish their knives were cheaper, but hey, whatever. Maybe the euro will come down. Doubtful. The euro will probably go down, but not as fast as the dollar. Okay. Thanks for watching, and have fun collecting.